Every unforgettable novel hides secrets in plain sight, Easter eggs that turn a good story into one readers never forget. Some Easter eggs are subtle, missed on the first read, others ignite entire communities. But here's the key, they're not just clever tricks, they're timeless techniques, the very best ones used by the world's greatest storytellers. And I've collected the top 7 so you can weave them into your own writing, adding your own unique twist to make your novel truly unforgettable. And here's the part I never saw coming. One of these Easter eggs completely changed my writing journey, even catching the attention of one of the major UK publishers. So trust me when I say this one is worth the watch. Ready? Let's uncover Easter egg number 1. Easter egg number 1 is a cross-world cameo. A cross-world cameo is when a character, object, or detail from one story quietly slips into another. It might be a passing mention, background dropped, or even a brief walk-on role. The magic of a cameo is that it hints your world doesn't end at the final page. Spotting it feels like pretty much bumping into an old friend in a new city, a secret only the most attentive readers notice. Take the movie Leave the World Behind by Sam Ismail. On the bedside table sits a book by Otto Irving, a fictional character from his earlier series, Mr. Robot. And if you're a fan like me, that blink and you miss it moment confirm that both works share the same universe. It's a thrill reserved only for the most attentive viewers. In my own debut novel, I've planned 2 cameos. One is a fictional book slipping into the background, kind of a nod to Ismail's approach. The other is more layered, a character inspired by one of my favorite artists. And if readers catch her nickname and the clues about her medical history, they'll piece together the hidden timeline of my world. So for your story, ask yourself, what detail from one of your other stories could sneak into this one without confusing new readers? This could be a past or future project. How could that cameo reveal something deeper? A timeline hint, a thematic echo, or proof of a larger universe? How do you design the moment so that it rewards returning readers but still feels seamless for a new reader? If someone read just this book, would the cameo still feel natural? And if they read all of your books, what extra layer would they discover? But cameos aren't the only way to connect stories. Sometimes the link is a little bit more subtle, hidden in a number or symbol that keeps reappearing, daring your readers to figure out why. Which brings us to Easter egg number 2, recurring numbers or symbols. This is when a number, a date, or even a symbol repeats across your book or even across multiple works. At first it seems random, but the more it appears, the more readers start to wonder, what does it mean? Here's why repetition breeds obsession. It gets readers theorizing, sharing, and rereading, and it makes your story feel like it's guided by invisible threads of design. Stephen King does this brilliantly with the number 19 in The Dark Tower. It appears in names, codes, dialogue even, I believe. It's everywhere, but it's never random. Or take the series Lost. The numbers 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42 start as a signal, then become a way to win the lottery, then curse a character's life, and ultimately connect to humanity's fate. Fans even built entire communities to decode them. In my debut novel, I've hidden both a recurring date and a recurring number. The date is personal, it once symbolized joy in my family before unfortunately being marked by loss. So planting it in my stories lets me reclaim it, turning grief into something a little bit more hopeful. And who knows, it might even end up being my publication date. So for your story, consider, is there a number, date, or symbol that resonates deeply with your protagonist's journey or your own life? Will your symbol be something readers only notice on a reread, or do you want them to start spotting it right away and wondering what it means? If someone does reread your book, what hidden patterns would they suddenly notice was there all along? Now, not every Easter egg hide in repetitions though. Some are tucked away so deeply that only the sharpest readers will ever find them. So Easter egg 3 are hidden messages. These are the secret buried in plain sight. Coded notes, graffiti, marginal scribbles, even invented alphabets. The thrill here is that when readers crack the code, they feel like they've uncovered something that was meant just for them. For example, Margaret Atwood slipped a personal nod into The Handmaid's Tale. M loves G, 1972, and it was carved into a desk if I remember correctly. And only those who knew her real-life relationship with writer Graham Gibson spotted it. I didn't, but it was definitely there. Tolkien did something similar with the decorative borders of the Lord of the Rings title page. And when translated, they revealed lore about the Hobbit, but also about the Red Book of West March. In my debut novel, I've been toying with a coded alphabet that I invented as a kid, and in the story, the protagonist once used it as well to pass secrets notes with his little brother, who has since passed, and I currently use it as a way to show the readers how much that bond still matters to him. But I'm also thinking of using that same coded alphabet to hide a message inside the book itself, something readers could actually decode if they look closely. How exactly am I going to plant this hidden message? I don't know yet, but here are the questions that I will use to figure it out. Who in your story would leave a hidden message, and who is meant to find it? What form makes sense in your world? Graffiti, coded notes, invented scripts, or something else entirely? What payoff do you want readers to feel? New lore, foreshadowing, or the thrill of cracking something few will ever see? Now, while some secrets hide in the margin or coded alphabet, others stretch across the very architecture of your book, embedded in the structure itself. Which brings us to Easter egg number 4. Now, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps supporting small channels like mine. And if you're on mobile, you might see a new hype button. I've just discovered it myself, and apparently it's an amazing way to support the channel. Thank you, by the way, to everyone who hyped the last video. I really appreciate it. All right, so Easter egg number 4. Acrostics. An acrostic is when you hide a message across a sequence. So that could be chapter titles, highlighted letters, or repeated words that spell something out for those who notice. It's like your story dropping a hint that most people will miss until later when it finally all clicks together. The moment of discovery works because readers realize that the story's been setting it up all along, and that alone is deeply satisfying. Take Breaking Bad. There were 4 episodes in season 2, I believe, where titles looked random. There was one called 737, then the next episode was called Down, the following one was called Over, and the last one was titled ABQ. Put together, 737 down over ABQ. Sure enough, by the finale, 2 planes collide over Albuquerque. Fans who cracked the pattern felt rewarded for their attention. In my novel, I'm considering designing chapter titles as sequences that, when strung together, foreshadows both mini climaxes within the different parts of my story, but also foreshadows the grand resolution of the story. To me, it's a way of layering secrets into the structure, and it even guides me as I name chapters. So for your story, here are a few questions to help you design it. What word or phrase could you hide across chapter titles to foreshadow your grand finale's climax? Could your chapter titles line up to form a hidden phrase, a riddle, or even a clue to certain payoffs? Do the chapter titles feel ordinary on a first read, but reveal an extra layer once the readers knows the full story? Of course, sometimes the secret isn't spread across chapters. Sometimes it's tucked inside a single name, waiting to be unscrambled. So you might have guessed it already, Easter egg number 5 are anagrams. Anagram hide a truth in plain sight. You take a word or name, shuffle the letters together, and suddenly it reveals an entirely new meaning. And when readers crack it, the payoff is explosive, because the answer was staring at them the entire time. To give you an example, although this one is not necessarily an Easter egg because it's revealed in the story, but in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the name Tom Marvolo Riddle rearranges into I am Lord Voldemort. Readers and Harry alike were blindsided. The twist worked because the truth was always there, waiting to be uncovered. In my own novel, I've hidden 2 anagrams, and because I wanted them to be Easter eggs, they won't be revealed within the story. So there's one that foreshadows the resolution, and the other, I'll leave it as a surprise for when the book is out. For your story, ask yourself, what truth, theme, or identity sits at the heart of your story, and could you hide it inside a name, location, or object? Should readers stumble across it themselves, or should the reveal come as a dramatic twist within the story? If a key name hid an anagram, how would that hidden meaning echo your protagonist's journey? But not all Easter eggs belong to your characters. Some belongs to you, the author, a signature slipped in like a hidden mark on a painting. Now, before we move on, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these Easter eggs has been your favorite so far? Or which one are you most excited to try in your own novel? Drop a comment below and let me know. All right, Easter egg number 6 is the creator's signature. A creator's signature is your personal stamp, something you carry across your works like a wink to loyal readers. Unlike recurring symbols, it doesn't need to belong to the story itself, but it belongs to you. This creates magic because it builds intimacy. Readers who spot your mark feel like insiders in a private club. It ties your body of work together, even across unrelated stories. Pixar is pretty famous for this. The code A113 appears in nearly every film and is a nod to the classroom where their artist studied. In my debut novel, I haven't quite picked my signature just yet. I keep coming back to the idea of sneaking in something personal like a number or a phrase or an object that shows up across everything that I write. So for your own creator's signature, ask yourself, is there a number, phrase, or object from your own life that you could slip into every story you write? Where in your story could it appear without distracting the reader, in a line of dialogue, an object on a desk, or a background detail? If a reader spotted it across multiple books, what would you want it to say about you as the author? And while a signature is subtle, the final Easter egg is pretty bold. But most importantly, it can change how reader experience your story forever. This is the Easter egg that I teased earlier, the one that caught the attention of a major UK publisher. But let me tell you how that happened first. I was at a wedding just chatting about books with people, as one does, when eventually the conversation turned to my own debut novel. I explained the twist that I was planning on one specific kind of Easter egg, and before the night was over, someone at the table handed me their business card. I looked at it and I realized that they were working for a major UK publisher and they wanted to be the first one to see my manuscript when it'd be ready. Now, I'm not necessarily planning to traditionally publish. It's not like I queried them or anything, but it was just so surreal the way it all happened. And here's the kind of Easter egg that we were talking about: encrypted puzzles. And it was my particular spin on them that sparked their interest. Those hidden puzzles once cracked my foreshadow twist, hint at sequels, or even lead your readers outside the book into extra content. Dan Brown did this in Deception Point. The final page held what looked like nonsense text, but fans who decoded it found a hidden message teasing the back then upcoming release of the Da Vinci Code. In my own debut novel, this is where I went all in. So for context, the story is set in a future where people no longer trust the cloud. So sensitive information is hidden offline, and one character in particular disguises password inside poems. So throughout the book, readers learn to decode these encrypted poems alongside the characters. On the final page, there's one last poem signed by the protagonist that hides the key to a secret website. That website unlocks side stories that I have written over the years about the characters and inside references so that every time that you reread my novel, you discover double meaning in dialogue and inside jokes between the characters that you would never have picked otherwise. So if a cryptid puzzle is something that you'd like to explore for your own story, ask yourself, what kind of puzzle could feel natural in your world, and what secret reward would make solving it unforgettable? So there you have it, 7 Easter eggs that can make your novel truly unforgettable. These aren't just tricks, they're timeless techniques that the best authors use, and now you can adapt them to your own writing. If you'd like to go further with your writing and connect with other writers working on their novel, come join my private writing community on Discord. I share early access to these videos. We also dive deeper into the storytelling methods that I share on this channel, and there's a lot more going on, and it's also a nice way to support the channel. You'll find the link in the description down below. And if you want to go even deeper into craft, check out this free course on how best-selling authors structure their novel. I'm pretty sure you'll love it. I'm Julian Maylet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.